Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 5 of the LCR Championship. We return this week out to Imola. If you missed out on the video that went live last weekend from Belgium, I would highly recommend going back and checking out. But yeah, we return today though, ready for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, or actually technically the Italian Grand Prix, because Monza isn't on this calendar. 1 point to our name so far this year. It has been a tough old start to LCR, but fingers crossed Imola, maybe we can just try and continue on and start building up a tiny little point streak, if possible. Is it going to rain here at Imola? I know I do this intro basically. Oh, it's raining. It's raining a lot. The race appears to be dry, which I suppose is a good thing, but wet qualifying then here from Imola. This is going to be interesting. Is it meant to get better? No, it's just meant to be full wet throughout most of this session. It might go inters towards the end. Someone's seen that and already rage quit. That is quite funny. And look at that, first car out onto the circuit. May as well get ourselves a bit of stream coverage. Why not, eh? Let's just, I mean, yeah, early on in qualifying we're just going to be sort of feeling our way around, trying to just slowly build up the pace. But yeah, we'll see what sort of times we can get. I don't know whether the rain's going to be more or less competitive, but only one way to find out, I suppose. I mean, the pressure's on now because we could go pole position here at Imola if I'm able to hook this lap up, and then surely we just finish qualifying right then and there. Rounding through the final couple of corners then, moment of truth time. Are we going to be on pole position? Ready for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix out of the final corner. Come on, up towards the line. That's it, stop the count, we're on pole, it's over, it's done, surely. I don't know whether it's a combination of the track getting quicker or just a reduced wheel spin, but I've done a second lap with basically no battery, and I've gone quicker than I did first time around there. We're back into P3, we're a second off though, the Aston Martin. That's not so ideal. I think we will likely see some times though coming in onto the intermediate tyres later on in the session. We're still improving each and every lap round here, just trying to shift a lot of the standing water. But I just want to try and get as much data as possible. After a couple of disappointing laps, track is definitely getting quicker and quicker still. It's going to be another 6/10 improvement. Up onto the front row. Let's be having you quicker than Mel. Get in the bin. Now we've got a pit. Love that. Finish the session here, please, boys. Oh, no. The game put me out on the wrong tyres originally when I wanted to go out for my final lap, so I don't think we're going to be able to post another time on the board. Yeah, there's certainly not enough time. Try and get another lap in here, so that is heartbreaking. Right at the end of qualifying, we're provisionally P5, but I'm sure we are just going to sink down the order like a stone as everyone else able to improve on the inters. That is so frustrating. I felt quite quick in these conditions and everything like that. I guess we've just got to go full send. Hiya! Is that going to invalidate next lap? No, it's not, weirdly, but we're not going to have enough time anyway. Oh, that's so annoying. I felt like there was definitely more time to potentially improve, but that's going to be an end to our qualifying. At very best, we're starting P10 when, yeah, there was definitely more time on there. Well, there we go then. When qualifying is all done and dusted, it is going to be the Aston Martin Ajaxter on pole. My teammate, though, Ben, up on the front row of the grid there alongside Mel. Sora showing still what pace the full wet tyres had there. So it might have just, to be honest, hindsight is a beautiful thing. It might have just been worth going out for a run anyway. But we're going to be lining up P11 then. We can't afford to, well, we can't really lose many places in the race. I think we've just got to hope for some carnage in front and try and pick up the pieces. Strategy pretty much as always then, of course, is either the hard medium or the medium hard. I'm going to go with the hard medium this week, just like I said. I feel like there's going to be quite a bit, well, it might be a bit of chaos early on in the race. So, you know, a few cars out of position. Sora, I'm sure, will be trying to move back through, of course, in that big championship battle with Mel, as the AlphaTauri there has almost done an Alain Prost heading down the hill. That is rather impressive. But yeah, anyway, ready to line up on the grid then here for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Hoping, like I said, we only need that fair play to him. That is actually quite impressive. I don't know if that's what he did last time as well, but I respect that. Might get a penalty for it, but I do respect it. As we get ready then to line up on the grid. Ben has been disqualified. That doesn't do anyone any favours. Is not too sure what Sora's doing. That apparently. Obviously going to try and line up towards the wall. Let's wait and see then what sort of lineup we can get here. Slowly but steady up to the grid. Don't do that. Oh no! That's not helped me. That's really not helped me there. Starting position reset. Ready though on the grid. 5 red lights here at Imola. Lights out and away we go. And really not a good start either, of course, because we'll lose all the tyre temperature from the false lineup as we head down in towards turn 1. Straight into P13 then of this race. Are we going to get dive bombed by the Red Bull? We are going to see some front wings go flying though through the first corner as... Whoa! Hello boys! Thank you! We'll gain places in that start then apparently. It's worked nicely for me. There's another car span. That is impressive. Coming to P9 then, there's contact between the Haas and the AlphaTauri just in front. There are even more contact between these two as Dynamo Dan just want to try and defend the place. But we've gained off the start here at Imola. Just like I said, I expected some carnage and we have successfully avoided it there at turn 1. Like I said, there was definitely some front wing damage as well. Maybe that is the AlphaTauri just in front of me that is really struggling. And already losing quite a bit to the cars in front of him as we wind our way down through the Aqua Minerale complex. Nascar going to try and have a look to the outside. Nope, things better right there. So we head in towards the final couple of corners. 2 cars around me as well, actually starting on the mediums, so obviously we should be a lot quicker than them towards the end of this afternoon's running, but there's a long way to go between now and then. Of course, could see safety cars, things like that, as the AlphaTauri. He's definitely only got half a front wing there, isn't he? Surely he's going to pit at the end of this lap, and we will be up then to P8 by the end of that one. So very, very good start then for ourselves. I think we can definitely apply some pressure to Dan as well early on in this race, but yeah, plenty of cars making big progress as well though. Also, we've just got to work out really where our pace is going to put us today. Is mistakes so easy to be made around here. Let's see one of the NRX drivers has done that just up the road. That's why I've opted for the higher downforce config, just because I feel like others are going to try and push and struggle. The other big thing, of course, that we've got to be careful of today is warnings. There's now 3-second gap to the car behind me. Somehow Dan's gone fastest and I was only a tenth away. So I think there is a big battle pack at the front of the field, but I think everyone in the top 2 certainly have got some fast cars behind them. So it does really open the door for some crazy. We've just got to make sure we stick within the DRS. It's already first retirement of the day. Is that a safety car? Only a VSC, that's alright then. Not going to lose a load of time to all those that I gained it off of. VSC coming to an end then. Just got to be very, very careful in the braking zones. Don't want to gain anything. There we go. It has gone away. And look at that. We've again been able to close up on those cars in front. That's what we love to see. Is now we will be within the DRS range of Dan in front. But basically now we've latched back on to this front pack. Whoa. Contact as well down at turn 1 there. I think between Connor and one of the NRX drivers. That's going to bring him even further in towards our clutches. That's a frustrating warning to pick up early on in the afternoon. Didn't feel like I gained anything from it, but we did just run outside of the white lines. Well, just early on then in this race, trying to make sure we settle down into a rhythm. Able to keep up with Dan and Connor just in front of me. I didn't actually realise that Sauber was behind us, so he must have got involved in that turn 1 contact. But obviously he's closing in thick and fast, still leading the championship, if I remember correctly. So yeah, when he gets to me, probably not going to put up much of a fight. But I just want to try and stick with these guys. I think Dan might have already used up basically all of his battery in this Grand Prix. I've been trying to make sure that we're really nursing ours. Yeah, he's already on the save at the first couple of corners. So if he drops out of the 1 second zone, then we've got to really go for it. I think it's Joe in the Ferrari just up the road has got yellow flags out. I think that's the AlphaTauri that's a lap down. Yeah, very much struggling then at the moment, it would appear. But now we've got Sora all over the back of me as well. So we've got a lot to think about over these next couple of laps. Well, Sora then all over the back of me at the end of lap 9. Like I said, not really going to put up much of a fight if he gets a run on me, which he absolutely will. Don't think, to be honest, we would have had much of a say in where we were going to have a fight with him. But back down into P9 then of this race, but still make sure that we're within 1 second. This is where things could get interesting though, depending on how aggressive Sora wants to try and carve through. Oh, yellow flags out. Don't say it's the AlphaTauri again. Clearly just trying to limp his way back round to the pit lane, but it is a little bit off-putting. As he will make it back round, and he's lost his wing, so yeah, really has been a disaster afternoon for them. Are we going to see Sauber now get the run on Dan? Yes, we are there as AlphaTauri out of the Grand Prix.
Okay, you're in the top 10.
And Sauber through then up another spot. I think now might be where we've got to try and start attacking Dan a bit more. He might lose the DRS of those cars in front this lap. As you can see, early on, he's definitely got no battery. Or up another place then. It's just a question of whether Dan and I are going to be able to stay within the range of Connor. At the moment there, I think Joseph's still struggling a bit for pace in that Ferrari. Of course, all it does is a bit of an accordion effect. Every time Sauber picks one of us off, spreads out the group a little bit, and then we just all kind of close back in on each other. More yellows. Someone else has potentially got issues in this race. Green flags once again. I think it might have just been a temporary thing for someone then. Who was that into the pit lane then? NRX. Very, very early to be making a call, so I wonder if he picked up front wing damage. That might have been what the yellow flag was for. We're up into 8th once again, as we can just see. I mean, there's no real point going for this move on Dan at the moment. We may as well just save the tyres and the battery. But if he drops out at 1 second, then we've just got to be ready to pounce. Guess we've got to see now whether Dan's got the DRS. Yes, he does. The fact that we are going to get a bit of a run this time round as we head out of the final corner. Looks like he doesn't really want to put up much of a fight, but I'm running such high wings. Oh, thank you so much. That made everyone's life a bit easier. We'll be up through then into P7 of this race.
Good job, nice overtake.
Yeah, I'm running such high wings in comparison to everyone still. The fact that Dan had no battery and was still basically able to match my speed. Oh, Joseph, bit of a mistake in front in the Ferrari, and now Connor might be able to get around the outside there. Tiny bit of contact with him as they head down the hill in towards the final couple of turns, and Joseph not willing to give up on it. Connor, though, will slip to the inside, and we've just got to wait our turn out at the final corner. Are we going to see Joseph try and reclaim the place? Just now it's turning into a battle for P5 then this afternoon. Connor will be through. Are we now going to try and do something against Joseph, though? Back down towards turn 1 to the outside will go of the Ferrari. And yes, we will. We'll swoop through as well into P6 then. This, so far, we're doing okay. Don't forget to run on Connor then out of the final corner. Soar into the pits very, very early in this race, but we're going to try and get the speed then. So we head back down towards turn 1. Don't want to use all my battery though, and we will be through into P4 of this race. Things go really, really well at the moment, but it can all change in an instant still. Oh, there we go, Ben into the pit lane at the end of lap 17, so it can't be long before we try and make our call. I actually tried to lift out of the throttle there slightly to make sure Connor was still within the DRS range, to be honest. He's a good mate of mine, so I'll try and give him a helping hand wherever I can, but into the podium places, albeit only temporarily here. Oh, we've got another car retired from the race. Oh, it's the Red Bull that's almost a lap down. Surprised to see Mel and Jackstar going as far as they are on these tyres, but they still feel pretty good, so I'm not complaining too much. There we go, tyre wear warning light has now flashed up. We will be boxing then at the end of this lap. Short blast on the mediums to the end. I think we're going to re-emerge in what, about P5, P6? So, fingers crossed, there could be some points available today. There we go, Jackstar into the pits. Mel opting to stay out another lap again then, so Mel really trying to extend these hards as far as he possibly can. Just got to make sure we get it slowed down nice and tidy into the pit lane. So Connor's going to go out even longer as well then. Lots of cars with penalties as well this afternoon, so it's interesting to see that that's becoming quite a common theme. We have still only had the one warning somehow from very, very early on, so we just want to make sure we focus on keeping that to a minimum towards the end. But yeah, we're going to lose the place to Ben. I don't think Violet's pit yet, so that's not too much to worry about. It is Mafia with the Aston Martin I think we were going to be battling with. But obviously he and Dan then, I don't actually know what strategy Dan's on, to be honest. But we're going to lose the place. We're ahead of Joseph still. Oh, Williams with issues. That's going to be another freebie. No idea what's gone on there. Has he done a George Russell? Who knows? Got to make sure we're inside the range though with Dynamo Dan in the DRS detection point, because that is a lot of free time potentially up for grabs. That was a really nice lucky line. We did get complete RNG there. But he's actually trying to use a bit of battery down in towards the final couple of turns. Just make sure we're within that range. Not worried about trying to get to him or anything like that. I just don't want to lose the time. There's more cars into the pit lane then. Violet in at the end of that lap. Back into P8 we go. I think we've still got a battle on our hands with Joe today, but I think Mafio's staying out to the end. I don't believe Dan is, though. He started on the mediums, didn't he? So he can't be, surely. Make things easier. Mafio now with a 3-second time penalty. He's going to be on older tyres towards the flag as well. So as long as he doesn't gain much over me, and as long as we don't get a penalty, could get a freebie. And again, though, with no DRS, I think we've just got to try and pull off the move sooner rather than later, as Connor is still out there. That is a rather impressive feat for the McLaren, but we are going to slip back past Dan then in towards the first corner. Well, I'm not sure why Connor still hasn't pit as we're coming towards the end of lap 25 here, but I have got to be a little bit careful. Mafio's still able to pull out a bit more time at the moment. Connor finally into the box, so he's going to be going on softs, potentially trying to snipe away fastest lap bonus point. But yeah, we've got 7 laps to go of this race, and we've just got to make sure we lose less than another second to Mafio. But of course, Connor will be rapidly closing in on me. Oh, gap's jumped up to 3 seconds to Mafio. I think really now our only hope is whether he and Ben have a squabble towards the end of this race, or his tyres fall off. We're just losing a couple of tenths down the front straight every time, but then we're just, whoa, able to hang on everywhere else there. That's an annoying warning. We can't afford any more of those. No! Just ran slightly wide. Yeah, now we've got a bit more flexibility then, but we're not going to be able to jump Mafio. Does also mean, though, that Dan and Connor might be able to apply pressure in these final few laps. Ben and Mafio now starting to have a bit of a battle in late on in the day. I think Ben might just concede the place, to be honest. Obviously, we know Mafio's got a penalty. I've got no idea how he's been so rapid towards the end of this one, considering how much older his tyres are than my own, but it is what it is. We have really started to struggle late on in the day. Of course, don't want to risk doing anything silly as well towards the end of the afternoon, but Mafio will sneak by, but Ben should still get the points. I'll start in the final lap then, just got to make sure. We've only got another 3 or so miles around this Imola circuit. You just don't do anything silly, of course. It's usually WOR where I bottle it on the final lap. I hope I haven't jinxed myself by saying that, but yeah, not really too sure how this one has worked out the way it has, to be completely honest. Dynamo Dan, he did do a double medium race there, so I'm not too sure what his plan of action was, but that's going to give Connor a freebie late on in the day. He's actually lucky, technically. He should be disqualified, I think, because he's crossed over the start-finish line, so he won't do a full lap on those soft compound tyres even. Don't really know why he did that on the final lap either. It's probably been worth just boxing 1 lap prior and trying to claim fastest lap, but each their own, I suppose. But 8 points for us then is certainly a nice tally to gain come the end of the weekend. To be honest, I'm quite happy that in many ways that Mafio's extended the gap by as much as he has late on, just so we don't have to try and go through and see if we get our penalty rescinded. But Mel is going to take the win. Clearly very hyped. But yeah, down towards the final couple of corners though. Here at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, looks like Joe's actually gone. So he must have ended up a lap down then this afternoon. But round in the final couple of corners, we haven't bottled it. We're going to score good points here in LCR. I will absolutely take that. Definitely my best race of the season. And it finally feels like we're starting to get there a bit more with the confidence. Definitely I'm still lacking on the lower downforce circuits, but around a track like Imola, you know, we took a bit of a gamble with the setup today, but I will absolutely take it there. Jackstar comes through for P2, just under a second behind Mel, come the checkered flag there. Saw a third ahead of Ben, Mafio and myself, with Connor, Violet, Dan and Joseph rounding out the points finishes there. NRX, Zinity, Rockmorrow, Oscu and Maris all not seeing it through to the checkered flag there. But 8 points on the board. It might not be many to a lot of people, but I will absolutely take that there. Worked hard for that one and felt like, you know, we got into a good rhythm early on. A bit gutted that I picked up that penalty. Yeah, GG Saw as well, obviously driver of the day according to the game, but we will take that. A good result, some big points, and we'll be back next week then. I have no idea where we're heading.